Welcome to Big Game Hunter,
where we hunt the big games
to make us all look tame.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Game Hunters. Hey, let's go, let's go. I'm Hunter number 1, your boy Lloyd's Locks. Hunter number 2, Mr. Pig's Cash in the building. And obviously, we have our resident deer who will always have a target on his back. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. He's our guy. This is the show, Big Game Hunters. We're going over 5 of the biggest college football games this weekend and the NFL. The 5 biggest in both. We got plays. We've been hunting. We've done our sniping already, and we got games to feed the boys. Me and Mr. Pig's Cash. Mr. Pig's Cash, how we doing?
First of all, we're doing great. I'm so excited. We look good.
Look at this.
We look
at this drip, bro. You see this drip right here?
Boys.
I mean,
then we've got our deer, our resident buck. Who's, wait, is that the noise a buck makes? Go ahead with that again. Okay, all right.
Is that, are you sure?
Doesn't have his horns yet, still a baby,
no.
But does have crosshairs on him all episode long, literally and figuratively. Okay, now let's move on to this first game, baby.
And again, we can't wait. We're getting right into this, man. College football week 3, if you're counting it. 5 of the biggest games. The first game is Alabama at Wisconsin this weekend. Wisconsin, a team that has just looked horrible to me over 2 weeks, barely escaping South Dakota last week. Should have lost to Western Michigan in their week 1 game. A team that I don't like very much. Guts, are you high on the Badgers?
I'll tell you this about the Badgers. The Badgers haven't been double-digit dogs at home very much. And in fact, over the last, 3 or 4 decades, it's really only been a handful of times. Actually,
oh, by the way, 16.5 is the line. I forgot to say, 16.5 is the line for the game in favor of Alabama on the road. Yep.
And I'll tell you right now, those points, really nothing matters because Wisconsin has a 0% chance of winning this game. They are 0-11 straight up at home the last 11 times being double-digit underdogs.
No shit.
They've lost every single time. The team is absolutely terrible. Now, if you've looked at what Bama has done the last couple weeks, I know they've scored a shitload of points. But guess what? That's been at home in Alabama where they're nice and tidy. They're sleeping in their own beds. And they're going up against inferior teams. Here, they're going up against a team that's at home. They're hungry. They don't want to get blown out again.
Yeah.
And their defense is a little bit better than what Alabama's been used to. I don't like Wisconsin to cover a win, but I also don't like Bama to cover a win.
Sure.
I like the under in this game.
And that, to me, that seems very sharp because I love Alabama. And I'm not one of the sharpest guys out there, but I love Alabama. Last week, coming off a game against USF where, again, I was at the bar. Parlay Poppy nudged me at the bar. Do you want to take Alabama minus 21.5 second half? We sweated that to the death. Thank God it cashed. I don't know how, but I love Alabama minus 16.5 in this spot. Luke Fickell's a fraud, bro. He was a fraud at Cincinnati. He's still a fraud to this day. All he does is run the football. I think Alabama absolutely comes in guns blazing after a bad week last week, and they just shit on the Badgers. So I love Alabama, and Guts, you love the under.
Under.
That's enough for me. Game number 2 is going to be LSU. They're on the road this week against South Carolina Gamecocks. 2 teams that are very, very good. The spread in this one, I believe, is LSU -7. And that seems a little bit high for me, but we'll let Guts go. Guts, your play for this game.
Look, I want to make sure everybody doesn't forget because I did bring this up to you at lunch. You, John, Bryce, the boys. I brought it up to you.
Our resident deer.
Our resident deer. Our buck. Brian Kelly killed a kid. And I just want to make sure that everybody does know that. Brian Kelly murdered a student. If you don't believe me, go Google it for yourself. We don't have to talk about that story.
Well, his actions led to the suffice of an infant.
If you tell a kid
that's what we'll say.
Go up there, the kid goes up there and they say, hey, it's not safe for him to go up there. Kid fucking, it's on you. Nobody else. Okay? We blame the boss. We blame the workman. We blame the guy in charge.
Absolutely. And that's what you should do.
Now, speaking of LSU, speaking of the coach I was just talking shit about, I actually like LSU this week. I think they're going to cover. I know they've been cold. They haven't covered the last couple weeks. ATS, they've been bad. They're actually borderline. Especially if they don't cover this week, it'll be the first time that they don't cover for 4 straight weeks in almost a decade.
No way. What a stat that is.
Decade. It's a great stat.
Wow.
Right? Honestly, man, it's the Cox. Okay.
Yeah.
The Cox defense. They're just a little bit shady. Not just their defense. It's as a team. It's as a school. It's really, listen, you know what we love when we watch Cox games? We love looking for them above 18, years old, college girls. College girls in the crowd.
Sure,
wearing the shirts that, say something inappropriate about their school, right?
Yeah.
Saturdays are for the cocks.
That's
stuff
right.
like that.
Sure.
We love that about Cox games.
Yes.
But realistically, the Cox have no chance here. I believe in Garrett. I think he's going to be able to run this like a nice 1970s GTO, just a nice smooth ride right down a nice new blacktop.
Yeah.
I love LSU to win this week. I love them to dominate this week. Go Tigers.
I'm on the complete opposite side. I hate LSU this week. I hate the Tigers. I'm all over the Cox this week. Last week, they go on the road to Kentucky. They let up 6 points the entire game, right? And Kentucky was supposed to be really, really legit this year. South Carolina walks into their house, dominates them. Now you get a big game back at home against you could argue a top 15 team. I know LSU they took the loss to USC, correct, in week 1. And look, Miller Moss is legit. I think USC is legit. But I love the offense. Garrett Nussmeier does it for me. Kyron Lacey's a stud on the outside. But this Cox defense is legit. Their quarterback is legit. He's a runner, too. And this LSU defense, I don't think is that great. I love having 7 points to back me at home, especially. I'm all over South Carolina this week. I'm all over the Cox. And we might fight on Saturday.
I say anything's possible. I say I wouldn't want to be in that blind.
Well, it looks like we're going to be.
I wouldn't want to be
in that
blind.
There. Yeah. Anyway, I'm all over the Cox. Guts all over LSU. Our next game is Texas A&M, and I'm excited for this one. At Florida, going in to Gator Nation, Gatorville, whatever you want to call it, the Aggies on the road. The spread in this one, I believe they are a 3.5-point favorite on the road. A&M is. Guts, your play for the Aggies on the road.
Yeah, of all the games that we have here and all the good games this week, all the great games this week, this is the toilet bowl of the good games.
And I agree, yeah.
This is the toilet bowl, but there's big implications here, right? Both coaches fighting for their future already. I'm not going to get into both coaches, okay? But the Florida made one of the worst decisions of their entire school's history by letting go a guy who could win and bringing in a guy who just simply cannot win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that the best that could happen to them was Graham Mertz getting a concussion out of nowhere. Okay, I don't know if the concussion is real.
Yeah.
I don't know what's real. It could all be fake. I think it's an inside job.
I think
it's a good side job.
The kid was horrible.
It's an inside job. Graham's terrible. He was bad at Wisconsin. He's bad in Florida.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say about this game is that Florida kind of looked like what we thought they would look like in week 1 and week 2. Okay,
yes.
They looked a little bit better. They looked much better without Hurts, especially at the fuck. I mean, he looked just so bad.
Yes.
I actually want to believe that Florida might be that team that we kind of thought they were. They just need a certain quarterback, a certain guy throwing the rock, controlling the offense, getting the boys going. Let's see how good they really are. Give me the Florida Gators. I'm taking them to cover this week.
Okay.
I'm taking them to win outright, obviously. I like Florida this week. Gators chomping down. Right here. Wait, watch this, ready?
I don't know how many.
Me in with that.
Yeah, no. I don't know how many times we're gonna do this. I hate Florida this week, and again, this is just a guy. Look, 2 sharp guys going head to head. This is what happens sometimes. Okay, when you get 2 sharp guys going at it. Okay, I hate Florida. Did they look better last week? Yeah, they did. It was against Samford. Okay, they brought the backup in. He threw for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's awesome. A&M is a real football team, and they have a legitimate defense. They lost to Notre Dame in week 1. Notre Dame goes down last week. That's just classic Notre Dame. Okay, Notre Dame played really good in week 1. They sucked last week. That's just classic Notre Dame for you. This Texas A&M team is a good football team. Their offense is shaky at times. But Cam Ward, and look, I don't want to sit here and act like Miami is bad, because Miami is one of the best teams in the country by far. But Cam Ward has shown us already how easy it is to walk in to Gainesville and win a football game. And I think with this A&M defense, if they can spark a little bit of offense, I like 3.5. I don't think Florida's going to be able to move the ball very easily. I actually also like the under in this game. I don't know exactly what it's at. Guts, can you give me a number on that? Because I would love to take that as well and make that a second play in this game. But I do love A&M minus 3.5. I could argue that A&M, this is a must-win game for them. I think it's a must-win game. You go on the road after a big win last week. You already lost to Notre Dame in week 1. You have to win this game, your first real big game of the year on the road against Florida. You have to win this game in order to keep the Aggie fan, the Aggie hopeful alive. I think they do it. I think they cover. Give me the Aggies -3.5. And do I have a total, by the way?
I'm not going to lie. I've been struggling all day to find. Oh, here we go. 46.5.
Oh, bro. That's way more than I even thought you'd say. Under 46.5. Give me that too. Add it on second play. We're going under 46.5. We're also going A&M -3.5. We're again on different sides. On to the next game here, fellas. Colorado. Colorado. Here we go. They're at Colorado State this weekend after getting just at the piss beat out of them at Nebraska last week. Nebraska's the real deal. We're not going to question that. But we all know Colorado's been fraud. They are fraud. Shiloh's hurt. Shador's bitching. Guts, you're playing this game. Colorado is a 7-point favorite in this game on the road against Colorado State.
Can I take it back to last football season?
Gladly.
We did a lot of shows. We did a lot of videos together.
Oh, we did, yeah.
And there was no one who was hammering home more than me right here. Gutsy picks cash. That Colorado was terrible. That Colorado was going to do nothing. I said under everything, under win total, all under win total, everything, right? I was hammering that home last year. What happened when they played Colorado State last year? I made multiple videos. Fade, take Colorado State. Did it work out? Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
The game went to overtime, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a great game. And fast forward to this year, we're in a very similar situation, except instead of this Colorado team beating Nebraska, they go lose to Nebraska. Not just lose, they get absolutely fucking embarrassed, blown out.
Yes.
Family names disgraced, right? It was hard to watch. With that being said, Colorado, not do I only think Colorado is going to cover this game. I think Colorado might score 50 points this game. So I'll be honest with you. My favorite play in this game is not Colorado -7. It's not the over. It's simple. It's Colorado team total over 33.5 points. I'm not going to trust that defense. I know the offensive line has been a little bit shaky. Deion's trying to beat them off and save everything and say, oh, these guys are fine. These are who we want. It's not who they want. Okay. But listen, they know what they have to do. They're coming up with a plan, and they're going to definitely be bigger, stronger, and more aggressive against Colorado State. The guys that Colorado got are still guys that are not going to go to Colorado State. Yeah. This is a different team. There's more meat on this team this year. Yeah. I think they're going to destroy Colorado State this year, but I definitely think they're going to score at least 40 points. 50 burger might be incoming.
Again, I don't know how we keep doing this. Colorado State +7 is the play. At home, I don't see a way where these guys are fired. This is the one game of the year that Colorado State actually gets fired the fuck off to play. So those boys are going to come out on Saturday. Again, they're really bad, by the way, guys. Colorado State's a really, really bad football team, but so is Colorado. Can they put up points? Yes, they can. Their defense is Swiss cheese. Shiloh was the main linebacker on the squad. He's gone. I'm keeping this one quick, man. At home, 7-point dog at home. I love it. Give me Colorado State to cover, and we move on to a great game to end our college football slate here. Boston College is at Missouri this weekend. And in my opinion, this is one of the best games on a board when you're not looking at the spread. The spread is Missouri -16.5 right now. If you don't look at the spread, I think it's one of the best games on the board. Guys, I'll let you go. Missouri at home this week against Boston College.
This is a classic case, right? You got the team at the top of the ranking system going up against just like this little cousin.
Yeah.
Kind of just snuck on the board. Everyone's, oh, welcome, happy to see you here. Didn't think we'd see you here. It's like the cousin that shows up to that Christmas. Like, whoa,
good to see you.
Good to see you, right? Like, Ricky,
yeah,
I haven't seen you in a couple years. That's what this is, okay? And honestly, I like BC. I like what they bring to the table. And, not that I'm not trying to date the episode, but 9/11, red bandana, a lot of good stories. We have a big weekend here for BC. Do I like BC to cover? Kind of. I kind of like BC to cover that 16.5, right? Defensive first school. They're not going to do anything special on offense. But guess what? Neither is Missouri. They're a very mid-SEC team. Always have been, always will be.
Yeah.
Well, last year they're actually pretty good. I don't want to shit on them. They would have made the playoff if it was a bigger playoff last year. I think they would have beat Alabama. That's a discussion for a completely different day. I like the under in this game. I'm not going to take BC to cover. I think they could cover. But I think their defense is going to be good enough to keep this game close, keep them in it. I like the under in this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, Boston College obviously comes in with a top 10 win. It was obviously against Florida State, who we know is fraud after playing 2 weeks of football. And this Missouri team can cook, bro. Their offense, it is pretty legit. Brady Cook is legit. He was legit last year. He's been a stud this year. Missouri also, this is why I like Boston College to cover. And I do like Boston College plus 16.5. Missouri has played great their first 2 weeks. They've played absolutely nobody. Okay, Boston College has at least played 2 teams that are somewhat decent. I think you come into this game on the road, tough environment. It's not going to be easy to cover, but 17 is probably what I'm going to be able to get closer to game time, 17.5. I love having that many points on the road for a defense that's actually pretty solid and an offense that we've seen move the football. So I'm going to take them, and Missouri's defense ain't great. It wasn't great last year. They won every game in a shootout. Give me Boston College to cover the spread here. I love 16.5. I want to wait and see if it can go up. I'd like to get that 17, but even if I don't get it, 16.5 is good for me. Boston College plus 16.5 this weekend on the road. I love it. And now it is time for the first ever segment on this show. We're going to be doing this every week. We're going to keep a tally of these plays. This one is for college football. We'll do another one at the end of the show that will be for the NFL. This segment is called The Sitting Duck. And this is where we pick the worst team on the board, basically to fade and cover the spread against that team. A sitting duck is a duck that you see. You know it's an easy target. It's an easy snipe.
It's injured. It's falling behind the pack. We need food.
Yeah.
So we want that sitting duck right there.
And we need the sitting duck, and we all got our sitting ducks this week. I'll go first here. And this week, Wisconsin is my sitting duck. They are going to get absolutely pummeled by Alabama this weekend. Alabama's going to win this game by 30. They played USF last week. They played bad and won that game by 30 in the second half. This Wisconsin team might score 0 points against Alabama because all Luke Fickell's going to want to do is run the football. He's not going to be able to do it, and he has no quarterback. Tyler Van Dyke sucks. He is horrible. He was horrible at Miami. He's horrible at Wisconsin. Jalen Milroe and Alabama are going to win this game by 30 to 35 points. 16.5 is free. My sitting duck this week. We are all in on fading Wisconsin plus 16.5. We're all over Bama.
I'll be quick with mine. My sitting duck, the one that's fallen behind, it's fallen way behind. I'm telling you, I really think this is a good bet. I really love this play, and that is the Cox. I think that South Carolina is just falling behind. They're so injured. They're hurt. They're brutalized. I like LSU, and I like Garrett to go in and dominate this week. I know I talked shit about Brian Kelly to open up this show.
Yeah.
And Brian Kelly did kill a kid. Let's not forget that. That's a fact, by the way. Not alleged. That's a fact. We can Google it. If you're watching this, Google it. And then come back. Moving on, though. I like the Cox to get absolutely ran through this week by LSU, and Garrett to run this thing, like I said, like a 1970s GTO.
There you go. There is your first ever sitting ducks of the week. Mine is Wisconsin. We're fading them in the 16.5. We're taking Alabama. Gutsy sitting duck this week is the Gamecocks.
The Cox. I love LSU to dominate.
He's all over LSU, and we are now all over the NFL. It is time for the biggest 5 games of the NFL slate this upcoming Sunday. And we're starting... I love every second of that. And I also love every second of this first game. It's the best game of the NFL this weekend. Actually, a very weak NFL slate, but I love this game. My Cincinnati Bengals going into Kansas City, and I'm going to take this one first. There is 2 ways that this game can go. This game can go 2 different ways. We got shit on by the Patriots last week, looked like the worst team in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes got new weapons. They look like the best team in the NFL. Okay? We either walk into Arrowhead and we get beat by 30, or we win this game outright by 3 and shock the entire league. And what do I think is going to happen? We're going to march into Arrowhead just like we did 2 years ago, and we are going to win this game outright. I don't want your 5.5 points. I don't need it. The Cincinnati Bengals this weekend, we show up in big games. We lose shit games. We show up in big ones. Joe Burrow had a horrible week last week. He has a great week this week. So does this offense. Bengals money line this weekend in Mahomes' house.
My sweet Lloyd.
Oh, no.
Who I love so much. I do love Lloyd. Jamar Chase, he's running wrong routes. T. Higgins, he's out. I'm not sure if you guys have a running back. And the Chiefs are who we thought they were. Chiefs minus $1 million here. And I will say one last thing. I didn't want to have to bring this up, but maybe close your ears. We also, Joe Burrow last week couldn't even grip the Gatorade bottle. He was shaking his hand constantly. Listen, I told Mr. Locks his hand is fucked. He's gonna be fucked at 40. He's not gonna be able to throw the ball by the time he's 32. If he has kids, he's never thrown it with him. Bengals are screwed, and they'll never be the same again. Give me the Chiefs alt line minus $1 million.
Are you done?
Done.
You're done?
Move on to the next game.
Okay, I'm going to assume he's done. Next game, fellas, is Rams at Arizona Cardinals, and I love this game. Massive game of the NFC West. Obviously, Arizona marching in, obviously, last week in Buffalo and being a team that we thought that Kyler Murray could operate, and he really did last week. It was good to see that. Rams take probably the best loss of week one in a primetime game on the road against the Lions. Tough environment to play. I love, and again, I'll go first in this one. I love the Rams in this game. I don't know how they're only +1 or minus. I think the Cardinals are favored in this game. I don't know how. I know Puka's out, but I still love Matthew Stafford. This defense, it is solid enough. And I don't think that the Arizona Cardinals are good enough to take down Stafford yet. I love the Rams this weekend. Give me Stafford and the boys money line this weekend in Arizona on the road. They get their first win of the season.
The Cardinals scored 28 last week. I know that. But guess what? One of them was off a kick return. They had a couple of just fluky plays. There was honestly a lot of fluky plays in that game. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I love the under here. They couldn't get a lot of pressure on Josh Allen. That's what people are probably going to bring up. But the Rams offensive line has a lot of injuries. Matthew Stafford can't move anywhere. Josh Allen can run all over the place. I think that people are going to be overreacting to this game, taking the over, and I absolutely love the under in it.
And I that's actually very, very sharp of you, Mr. Pace Cash. We'll roll on here to the next one, fellas. In a big game that really doesn't make much sense to me, to be honest with you, is the Indianapolis Colts are going on the road to Green Bay this weekend. And the problem with the game is Jordan Love is not going to play. So Malik Willis will be the starter for Green Bay. And the Colts coming in after, barely losing to CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, who are a top 3 team in the NFL probably. They only come in -3 against Green Bay this week on the road. Gutsy, you're picking this game.
If I laid this out for you, okay, and I said it just like this. There's a team where the starting quarterback gets injured, okay? They're bringing in a starting quarterback that just came into town, not even a month ago?
Yeah, not even a month
Probably
ago.
doesn't know the whole playbook by now, okay? Going up against a team that has a stud rookie quarterback that everybody's fallen in love with because he's an athlete. He made some crazy throws last week, right? And if I told you all that information, and I said that the line only moved 1 point after that starting quarterback got hurt, you would probably be mind-fucked because there's no way you would think that would be worth 1 single point. Well, that's what Vegas is saying because the lug headline was 4.5, and now it's sitting at 3.5 with Jordan Love out. Can I say something about Anthony Richardson? You know that I don't like him. You know that I've never believed in him. I made multiple videos talking about that dude. I said he would be in the CFL by 2025, I think, or 2026, whatever video I made a couple years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
If you take away the 3 throws that he had on Sunday that were over 50 yards, and I know that some of those throws are really good. I get that. I'm not taking that away.
Money throws.
I'm not trying to take it away, I should say. But if you take away the 3 throws that were over 50 yards, you want to know what his stats were for the game, Mr. Locks? 6 for 16 for 41 single yards.
Wow.
I've never believed in Richardson, and I still don't believe him after that game. Malik Willis might have just gotten into town and doesn't even have a fucking house or an apartment. He might be sleeping at the facility. But give me the Packers, not just to cover, but to win by 20.
And again, I like that's kind of a fair point with the line movement. It's tough, but I am going to fall for the bait here. Give me the Colts -3. It doesn't make any sense, and that's why I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Anthony Richardson, take away the 3 throws, he's going to make 3 or 4 insane throws in this game against a Green Bay defense who let up 35 points to the Eagles last week. So I'm all in. Give me Anthony Richardson on the road, walking in there. Give me the Colts to cover. They cover -3. And we're on to the next. It's the Cleveland Browns on the road after getting just demolished by Dak Prescott and the boys. They go on the road to Jacksonville, take on Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Guts, what is your play in this game after seeing what Deshaun Watson did last week?
Actually, I think I saw what both things did last week. So I'm a Dolphins fan, as you know.
That's right.
Jaguars
That's
went
right.
up against.
That's right.
Everyone's beating off the Jaguars. Why? Because they stopped the best offense in the league and held them to points. Well, can I lay a couple things down, Mr. Locks? Is that okay? Okay. Tyreek Hill, number 1 receiver. What happened to him? He got arrested. He couldn't talk. He didn't talk to anybody for an hour. He sat in his little cubby, didn't say a word. What happened to our number 2, Waddle? What happened to him?
He almost died.
He got, okay, sure, but he got really hurt, right? Okay, what happened to our number 1 running back? Okay, I don't care who you want to call number 1 running back. We can say A-Chain. That's A-Chain. That's fine. A-Chain, hurt. What happened to Raheem Mostert? Hurt. What happened to us at the end of the day? We won the damn game. That's not a game that a team like the Jaguars, who are supposed to be good, they can't let a game like that slip away. They should have won that game. They didn't win that game. They showed who they really are. They're not who we thought they were. Absolutely not.
So you're all over.
That being said, Deshaun Watson didn't look good after the shoulder injury. I know that. I know he's got some new allegations in the news, but guess what? He's used to being in the news. I like the Browns, not just to cover, but to win outright.
I'm starting to think here that we'll never be on the same side for any game, because if it's Brown, it's down. I don't know what else you want me to say. Deshaun Watson is horrible. He is horrible. The Browns defense obviously is great, but I also think that the Jacksonville defense, I know what they did last week, injuries, Dolphins, blah, blah, whatever. No matter what, they still were almost on the field the entire game. Tyreek and Waddle both went for over 100 yards, and they still found a way to only give up 20 points to the Dolphins. I think Jacksonville can do it. Trevor Lawrence, this is almost a make or break game, and I just think that he has to win this game at home, especially to give the Jacksonville faithful any kind of hope. Give me Jacksonville minus the 3 points. If it's Brown, it's down.
I'm a deer, Mr. Locks.
Deer. He's not a doe, though. You don't get that twisted.
I'm a buck.
It's not a
Identifies as a buck.
I identify as a buck. I just don't have my antlers. I'm a late bloomer.
Season. Anyways,
all right,
last
man.
game.
One more game here to wrap up the NFL slate. We'll go 5 for 5. It's the Chicago Bears, led by Caleb Williams, if you even want to say that now after week 1. They're on the road this week against C.J. Stroud in Houston. Gutsy, your thoughts about the Browns and your play in this game? It is the Houston Texans minus 6 at home.
You've already complimented me on a couple of my stats today. Can I drop another stat for you that you might like?
I love Gutsy Picks Cash stats.
Okay.
Big fan.
So quarterbacks in the last 30 years, okay, that have at least 25 passing attempts, under 100 yards, under 3.2 yards per attempt, and 0 touchdowns in a single game that they start, okay? Of those stats that I just read you over the last 30 years, you know how many times that team has won that game? 1 time.
Oh, I thought we were going to have a 0 here.
Well, it was 0 until Caleb Williams entered the NFL and had the most embarrassing week 1 performance you'll ever see. Somehow not only won, but covered. Yeah, I had a Titans +4 ticket in my pocket. Yeah, still salty about it, okay? I'll never trust a Pac-12 guy. They all stink. They all suck. Honestly, it's just how it goes, okay?
Yep.
Rest in peace to Pac-12. Caleb Williams is not that guy. I still can't believe he said he doesn't get nervous before anything, before big games.
Which is crazy, bro. He was nervous as shit in that game.
Shaking in his boots out there, okay? C.J. Stroud is far better. The Bears have some injuries. Rome isn't practicing. Keenan isn't practicing. I've got to take the Texans here. I just have no other choice. Texans -6, right? -6?
-6, yeah.
-6.
-6. I'll be very quick with this. I'm on the same side as Guts. I think that Caleb Williams sucks. He looked horrible in week 1. C.J. Stroud, they got the pieces, man. They got my guy Joe Mixon. They snagged him from us. He goes out there and runs for 200 yards. This game won't even be close. It'll be Texans by 20 plus. We'll eat that -6 every single day of the week. Now, on to, again, what we call the sitting duck. Again, I know we're new here, episode 1. This is where we pick the worst team to fade. This one's in the NFL. Gutsy, I'll throw it to you first. Who is your sitting duck this week in the NFL?
It's your Bengals. Chiefs minus whatever. It doesn't matter. You can all pick it up to 10. The sitting duck, the animal that's truly wounded right now, it's not only just the Bengals, it's Joe Burrow in general. And T. Higgins is also actually injured. They can't keep up with the pack. They can't keep up with the pack.
It's a tough one to swallow, brother. We start the show today, huh? You want to do it like that? Okay. My sitting duck of the week. I wish I could make it to Dolphins. I can't. If I would, I could. But my sitting duck of the week is the Arizona Cardinals. I see no way, no chance that Matthew Stafford loses this game. I know it's in Arizona, and I know they showed up against the Bills last week. I don't think the Bills are that good. Give me Matthew Stafford in the boys on the road to get their first win. I'm telling you, they're missing 2 left tackles last week against the Lions. They're back. I think the O-line will be just fine, and I love Matthew Stafford on the road. Give me them. Rams money line. My sitting duck of the week. The Arizona Cardinals, +1, -1, whatever it's at. The Arizona Cardinals, my sitting duck. We're sniping the Rams.
It's time for Call of the Week, where we bring the big bucks home.
Wait, I think I see it.
We got our trophy buck here. It doesn't have any points, but that's all right. I do think it's got something else inside, though. What is there, Mr. Locks?
What's going on in here? Is there something going on in there?
What is that?
It's a play. Colorado State +7. Colorado State +7.
I guess we'll add that. There is something else in there.
What's this one?
What's this? Texans -6. I think there's one more leg in there, actually.
This is in our play.
Wow.
Is this his play?
It might be.
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars -3.
Did we just snipe a 6-11 3-leg lay?
We absolutely did. Boys, I already told you. If it's brown, it's down. We sniped our first one of the year. Week 1 of big game hunters in the books. We'll see you next week.